And you know one thing I do like about him? He'll put his head where other people won't even put their boot.
Yeah. We want people that are going to be competing for that first team spot, exactly. not another Shaqiri.
The way that this brother plays football, when we were linked, I didn't want to comment because I didn't want to smile.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to KLOPP Talk, live on FTV Sports. So we had 2 pre-season games today. They were only 30-minute halves, weren't they? So it was more like a training game. It wasn't really like a match. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed them. How did you lot? Do you enjoy it? Seeing the boys out?
Definitely.
Yeah,
it's always good to see the boys, man.
It is, especially from being asked, well, when are we going to see the Brazilian boys come out? Because really, they didn't really play in the Copa America.
The Brazilians were back today.
Yes,
that's what we want to see. So now they're going to get 2 full. Well, they won't play full games, but we got 2 more preseason games for them to get up to speed.
Best salsa and sauce. Yeah, man.
Yes. Bobby's just naturally got that.
Well, I was going to travel up there. I was going to travel up to Anfield. I was looking at tickets earlier on into last week. £23 wasn't too bad, but I got there quite late, and it was tickets in the upper echelons at the back of the Anfield Road end. And I thought, am I going to be traveling up 5.5 hours on a day off of work to maybe get a restricted view? I'm not sure. I think, and I think when the new stand opens, not only will it open up the view for the people within the ground, it will also open up more possibilities for fans to actually get to games. And I think that's one of the criticisms maybe of FSG, that they needed to bring the stadium and the club kicking and screaming up to the level of these other, so-called top 6 clubs. And I'm pleased that they're looking at that.
Well, at least our club's doing it, not like Old Trafford just rotting away.
Yeah, they call it the leaky cauldron in Harry Potter. This is
it's the theatre of wet dreams, apparently. So,
oh, come on. No. It's the theatre of screams, not wet dreams.
Okay, so let's get into game 1. So this was our lineup. So we had Kelleher in goal, Trent and Robertson, of course, on the wings, Matip, Van Dijk, Milner, Keita, Elliott. And then, interesting, we had Jota, Mane, and Salah at the front. So this is how they lined up. So I thought it was quite interesting. I've been quite interested in this Elliott and Salah little combination. Seem to enjoy it very well. Salah seems to enjoy him behind him as well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So yeah, Virgil, 40 minutes.
Let me just say very quickly, right? Obviously, James, due to work commitments, I wasn't able to kind of watch the game in its entirety, but James was keeping me updated because she's a boss like that. So I can only dabble on what I saw as and when I saw, do you know what I mean, a little bit. But I know I speak for all 4 of us and the Anfield massive when I say, how good was it to see man like Van Dijk just there, like just competing, like that, like just, oh mate, it's
heavenly.
Honestly,
it's like payday.
It's
payday weekend.
Mate. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, James, I'm gonna hold you on. I'm gonna pause you on that because that is so sick. You know why? Because regardless of what bills you've got, you could be broke the next day. You still get that feeling. We don't know whether Van Dijk is going to be quite the player that he was but to see him, man's happy. Like that. Like what will come will come. Yeah. Like, like that. Like, and it was just so.
He's miles ahead of any other centre back anyway. So even if his levels do drop a bit, I'm cool with that.
I think in terms of centre backs in the Premier League, one other in Van Dijk's absence, hate to say, the club that's at Man City is Diaz. He does look good. I still think Virgil is the number one and away centre-back within world football. And I know that seems extreme, but let's be brutally honest. It's true. I think we'll see more of Virgil as the weeks go on. Will he start the season? I'm not too sure if he does. I think I'd take an 80% Virgil van Dijk any day of the week. The man's a legend, and he stabilizes the back line more than the foundations of a house. The guy is unreal.
But James, who would start alongside him?
For me, I would go straight into... it's a toss-up between Matip and Konate. Konate has been playing a full pre-season for the football club. Matip coming back from injury, but Matip is someone, for me, he can be out for 6 months and he'll just come straight back in. He'll be there for 3 weeks, look world-class and go again. Do you want to risk Konate? It's a tough one, but that's why we employ Jurgen Klopp, and that's why I have faith in him. I would take one of Matip or Konate. I don't think, just take our time with Gomez. We know potentially Joe Gomez can be as good as, if not to that level of Van Dijk. That's my opinion. A lot of people say, man, you're crazy. Not for me. If Joe Gomez is fit for the entirety of last season, 10 points we finished off of the two teams
Future
above
Rio
us.
Ferdinand, future Rio Ferdinand, that guy. He's got everything to be.
He was unlucky with England.
You're not crazy, James.
He would have went to the Euros and we were 10 points away. If you look at the analytics and you look deeper, would Virgil van Dijk or Matip or Gomez in that defence last season saved us some of those 10 points? Absolutely. If Fabinho was pushed, it's no wonder that when Fabinho was pushed straight back up into his favoured midfield role, we go undefeated for 10 games. It's no qualms about it. But absolutely. That's, sorry to deter from the pre-season friendly, but that's
fine. I'm just going to add, so we've got Paresh here, Cop Kelly. I'm just going to add him in now. Hey.
Hey, good evening, guys. Good evening, guys.
Made it.
I'm a bit late. Yeah, made it. How are you all?
All good. So, it was nice to see Virgil get 40 minutes. Personally, I think our first two games are Norwich and Brentford.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go with Matip and Konate myself.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying that, Konate came from Leipzig, didn't he?
Yeah.
They play similar to us, the high press. I don't think he's had to necessarily learn the way we play as much. He's quite used to that style. He has looked, I know we weren't really pressed much today. I don't think Bologna really turned up today. They weren't really challenged, our defenders.
Well, they thought they were playing Man United, didn't they? I mean, was I the only one that looked at the kit and thought, well, what's going on there?
Oh, that was horrible. I didn't like that kit at all. That was because our away kit's cream and theirs is white and it was too similar. But let's hope we don't do that again.
But guys, what about the pitch, huh? Wow. What about the settings? It was stunning.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
That's such a beautiful area.
According to the Liverpool Echo's write-up on the game, Alisson had his quietest half hour in a Liverpool shirt. He even got to take in the wonderful views of Lake Geneva.
Yeah, stunning. Wow.
I think Kelleher was the only one that actually had to make a save. And it was a good save as well, but he's brave and he doesn't panic, does he? He'll just go in and go for it.
Really matured over the past 18 months as Kelleher. I feel quite, if it's Adrian or Kelleher, I'm quite happy with Kelleher. I think he's one for the future, definitely.
But he actually filled in, didn't he, for Alisson?
Yes, he has. Yeah, he had at one stage.
Really noticed much difference. But Konate. So he played the second game, didn't he? So we'll get on to him after. First half, so we had Jota, Mane, Salah up the front. Harvey, yeah. So Mane's back. I'm sorry, but Mane is back. He does what he does best, constantly pressing.
Gems, you putting this away?
No, he is back.
I like someone that puts that says it with their chest. I was saying it a bit early though. Yeah, we ain't even had a real competitive game. Like these man, they weren't even tackling. They weren't even tackling. They were half pulling out of challenges and that. You ready to really say that with chest? Yeah,
he was on it. Even the
He
last
looked
season,
tired. He looked tired midway to the end of last season, but it's the guy hadn't had a mid-season break for 3 years. This end of season, he has had a break, and if Sadio Mane turns up to the party, the guy's in my eyes is exceptional. I love his attitude. I love his outlook to life. When you look closer at how he handles himself, how he carries himself, broken mobile phone, and he'd rather provide schools in his home country. What an absolute legend he is. What a great guy.
This is someone who was ill as well. Yeah, you remember he had bloody COVID as well. So you have to get, give him his dues.
I think last season he was having to help. Obviously, our defense was falling apart, so the forwards were having to come back more. Fabinho wasn't there to protect them, so there was all kinds of issues why they couldn't do.
Yeah, he worked
I mean, in all fairness, like I love Mane, innit? Like I love Mane, but I keep it real, innit? In to your point, Gems, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to look at it as like a lot of my frustrations wasn't with the defensive aspects of what he was doing. And in actual fact, I think he has and always has done that very, very well. And it's that sometimes I'm a bit, it stops me from like pounding on him so well, because I'm like, bro, his relationship with Robertson and the way in which they like he puts himself about is incredible. But I was often shouting at the screen because of his final third. The final third. Like, it was like a force field. It was like as soon as man stepped into the final third, he just broke down. Didn't know what to do. The pass was over here. The decision making was a mazine. Like it was crazy. And so like, I don't know. I feel like Mane, you're right. I've said the same thing. Like, obviously, James, like, a lot of what you said goes without saying. He is a brilliant man. Do you know what I mean? And that's without saying. In terms of football, obviously, like, he is a man who was very tired. I feel like he does need a rest. I don't quite know if he's had a long enough rest, if I'm very honest with you, with how tired in which I think he is, and with the fact that he's going off to AFCON as well. Like, he's still, do you know what I mean? This guy's still going to have a very active year. With the additions or the lack thereof, he's still going to be relied on very, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't really know if he's really had, we're not a Man City. We won't just get a player and say, brother, take your time, like that, and you can. Oh, he's gonna probably rack up another 30 game season. So I just feel like
he's looking healthy,
But I just feel like he is. I just feel like we have to see in it. Take time in it, like that. Like
we got Jota. Jota can.
Like, he looks good. He looks.
I agree with that. I think you're right.
Mane's role sometimes we can switch it up. I'm just going to go through a couple of comments a minute because we've got quite a few building up. So this is Reese. Reese watches every show. Hi, Reese. We appreciate
Come on, Reese. Back. Come on.
Charles Williams. Evening.
Charles.
How did they do? Didn't get to watch us in work. Well, that's what we're talking about, babe. Rival fans this season are going to be eating humble pie. He will be that player, no worries. I don't know if he's talking about Konate. James Maguire up there with VVD. All right, calm down there, love.
I'm going to speak to this guy on my podcast with him later. Yeah, for those who don't know, James Hounsell's the other half of TTM Sports. He's a Tottenham fan, and we got a podcast later on. This guy is getting it for sure. So say Maguire with VVD. Maguire, top bracket defender. Let's not beat around the bush. Good defender. Good for England at the Euros. VVD. Outrageous comment.
I mean,
Maguire's like a Ford, and I don't care. Like, that's going to get you to work every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a good car. Like, it's reliable. Do you know what I mean? It's real cool, innit? But like VVD's luxurious, bro. He's in the next bracket, like that. Like, he's silky. Yeah, like
he's up there in terms of height, and that's about it. That is about it.
It wasn't that long ago. Maguire was, fouling Lindelof in the box. Like, I've never seen Virgil doing the mistakes that he was.
How can you take out your own player, please? Come on.
And they paid
it's okay. It's okay for Tottenham because they're going to sign Romero, and that's going to fix everything.
This is his next comment.
Might be their season.
Oh, no.
Not even responding to that one. Right. Anyway. Yeah, we've got people laughing at that in our comments. Right, who we got? Talat. Mane did look back to his old self. Yeah, I mean, I know you could say it wasn't a challenge today, but he was chasing down every ball, pressing the goalkeeper. He looked sharp. He was doing what he does best.
Pressing down every ball, yeah? You sure that was him, yeah?
Nearly.
Are you smiling?
Closing them down. Artie. Hi, Artie.
Hey, Artie.
So,
Done, Artie.
back to the game. Harvey Elliott. What are we thinking about him so far this pre-season? I go you Saints.
I don't think he's not going to play central midfield for us this season. Let's get real. I think he's a great talent. And if you play Football Manager, we all know he's a wonder kid, has been for years. We think he's brilliant at Blackburn last season. Incredible hair. He looks the part. The image is great. We love him. He's going to be with us for years and years and years. But you can't tell me that in the Premier League he plays centre mid. This is Jurgen Klopp. Stranger things have happened. For me, if you take Salah out of the team, I'll be more comfortable putting him in Salah's position. I don't know if I'm alone in that. I would just feel more comfortable.
I thought that was obvious, though. Whoever said that he would be fighting for centre midfield? I've never seen Harvey Elliott ever in contention for centre midfield. I've seen his. No, go, Jay.
Sorry.
No, the only question I've got is why are we playing him there? Why are we moving the Ox up more north of the pitch when really for me he did start centrally today, didn't he? In the second game, was that? Yeah, I think for me, I think Ox for me fit and firing is potentially right up there. It's so cruel what happened to him. It was Roma, wasn't it? It was the knee injury, and just before that, the 2 months before then, he looked incredible. Harvey Elliott was strong, comfortable. Looks a lot stronger, doesn't he? He looks up for it. But I don't know what they're thinking there. I know that might be a polarizing comment. I just don't get why we're doing that.
I think it's a case of personally square pegs in round holes and all of that. I think they're trying. I've heard it muted, and I don't know if there's any real fuel in that of like Ox maybe playing the false nine.
Yeah,
no, there's definitely fuel.
And I think that's what that is. It's trying to you know what I mean, fix the jigsaw puzzle to try and facilitate that part and see how best that works, which I really don't like. But yeah,
he's been training him to be the false nine for a few months now, apparently. So Ox actually came out after not this game, the other game, and he said he wants to try and bring back some of the goals from outside the box elements of the game. He said that's what he's trying to bring and stuff. I mean, before he got injured, he did look in fantastic shape. I think a lot of people forget that. But injuries, you know, how reliable will he be? Is he disciplined enough to take that role on?
So do you think, since we lost Coutinho, do you think Klopp's trying to play Elliott in that kind of creative midfield role that we've lacked for?
That's a good angle. Yeah. That's a good angle to look at it.
Because I seem to like him a lot.
Yeah, because he seems to have quite a smart head on him.
It's interesting because he's been playing him kind of like behind Salah.
Yeah,
but he's almost playing. You almost see them in similar positions.
I just worry he's going to be another Harry Wilson, Ben Woodburn. Yeah. It frightens me because with Harry Wilson, there was one player there. You know, I just worry that, like Grujic, I worry that we sign these youngsters that look great and start performing well in the youth. So like Gordon's another one, the Polish lad, Mochiowski, him, for those who don't know, fantastic. Again, at centre-back, Billy Kumatio was available last season, wonderful talent. Why wasn't he chucked in? And I feel wrong questioning the management team. It's like, how dare I? Everything that we've been through since 2000, from when, you know, I really took an interest in Liverpool. I was very young child up until the last 2 or 3 years. How dare I question the management? But sometimes, are we right? Can we question Jurgen Klopp? And you know, that might be another question for another day. Judges on his record. No, I just worry. I'm really worried that he might turn into another Ben Woodburn, is a perfect example.
I think, to be very honest with you, I think he's got more talent than all of the people in which you've.
I hope so, Saint. I hope so, man.
I get what you mean, but I do think that he's a little bit more. He's got more football nous, and I think he's a little bit more talented than like a Woodburn and like a Billy Komecha. I just don't think was quite ready enough. I think he was like whoa, he's big in stature, but I just don't think he was quite ready enough. But I do get what he's saying, James. I do get what he's saying.
I mean, ultimately, we don't see what Klopp sees every day in training.
Yeah, good point.
Personally, I think he seems to have that like the passion, like the tenacity. He really wants to win back every ball, closing the players down. You could almost see him like underneath Salah's feet a little bit. He's trying to get involved. I mean, he seems to like him. Klopp obviously sees something. Klopp likes players that put 100% into training. He must be doing that. He must be.
And he doesn't look lost. That's the most important thing. He doesn't look lost. You get so many youngsters that look lost when you put them in that end with all these big stars, and they just go, "My God, what the hell do I do next?" But he actually looks like he wants to get on the ball. He wants to link up with his teammates. So he actually looks like, if Klopp gives him a good run, you just don't know what
he belongs
next.
Do you know? Going back to James's point, right? I don't know about the rest of you, but me personally, I feel that with time and with the right care, I am a lot more confident if Salah or when Salah goes to AFCON to have Harvey Elliott step up than I ever would have with a Wilson or a Woodward. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I mean.
That brings up another question. You've just brought up there a fantastic point, a point that doesn't really get talked about. Now, we brought in Diogo Jota last season to come in, as we all know, to replace any one of the front three. If we're in the market, we're going to say, yeah, come to Liverpool. You get Champions League football, world's greatest manager, best fans in the world, and we know it. Wonderful club, but you're not going to play 90 minutes. That then all of a sudden restricts us in the transfer market. Who's going to want to come? So the deal to bring in Jota was very clever. Now we've obviously got the AFCON coming up. I didn't think about that. That's a massive oversight on my part. So, Saint, you've knocked the nail on the head right there. And you can see it, can't you? Jota to the left, Elliott to the right, Firmino through the middle. But here's the kicker.
That's why I was like, centre mid. I don't see it. I don't
but here's the kicker. Here is the kicker.
I think he's just,
Do we need...
He's giving game time, isn't it?
Do we need one more?
No, we definitely do. I think we definitely do. Whether we will, that's a different question.
And then
who's out there now?
Golden question, wonderful question, and it's one of we're all racking our brains, listening to. I don't know if you guys ever listen to it. It's the Blood Red podcast from the Liverpool Echo, and you listen to those guys there, and then they have these same debates that we're having. The difference is they work for a publication in a journalistic capacity. We're real fans, so we actually talk about what we want to listen to. And I think who on earth could you possibly bring in? It's difficult to convince someone to join the football club when they're knowing they're not playing week in, week out. And is that the reason why he's looking at the Ox to push him further forward?
But the midfield, I think, obviously the back line's, pretty sorted. The front attack, there's hardly ever any question. It's the midfield where there's questions. How are we going to set up? Who's going to play? But that's the place where there's, potential to switch up.
I just want Naby to come to the party. I love the guy. You can see there's a player there. There's a player there. He just seems to be made of Weetabix. It's such a shame.
He's so skillful, that boy. My God.
Yeah.
The goal against Chelsea.
Me and Saints were talking about him earlier.
Oh, he's brilliant. It's just
for a minute I thought it was Mane, and then it was like, no, that's Keita, but they're the same size, and I was like, wait, Keita's real pressing it.
Trust me, it wasn't. It is like it is the pressing, and then like the confidence with the ball to know what he's. I'm like, yo, you now I totally get it. Like you're that guy, and also, anyone that's played FIFA. When they used to do the whole like camaraderie thing and that's a big thing, Mane and Keita's camaraderie. Like if he can step it up, that two link up.
It's
you can tell Mane's just like brother. Come on,
On
Brother,
Football
come
Manager,
on.
on Football Manager,
Football
is what
Manager,
you
I think it
call.
was. Yeah.
It's well at the minute I'm thinking about starting a career save as Deportivo La Coruña in the third or fourth tier of Spanish football. If you know, you know. But no, it's all about chemistry, and chemistry between those two guys is fantastic. But let's not forget, there's another little piece of the jigsaw that we need to talk about, if I may, and that's Takumi Minamino. You know, his new rough and ready look at the moment with his little beard. He seems so quiet. He didn't want to, you know, it doesn't look like he even wants to say anything to anyone. Is there a player in there?
All that's missing is a sword, samurai sword. He looks the part now. He looks
You really
like
want to love him, don't you? You really want to love him.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you just want him to do well.
Brett, what did you think of? So obviously, he went out on loan. So, what do you think that's kind of done for Minamino? Looking at him now in pre-season,
I'm quite happy he went on loan because he went to a club where they play that kind of. It's not flair.
Hasenhüttl.
It's more get into your face football, and he kind of needed to be made a little bit stronger, and to realize that you come to football, you know, you come to LFC and you want to play that flair type of football, and in this league, it just can't happen. So now he looks like he's got a bit of a, you know, he's got his, you know, strength. He's got a beard, so I think he means he
You can see with the beard.
I'm a man now.
Could that be? We were just having a great debate a moment ago about that potential last attacker. But we already got him. For me, at the end of last season, as a Liverpool fan, if you'd have come up to me and said, right, James, what do you need to do to challenge Manchester City next season? And I said, right, you need to do two things. Just two. You get a bona fide, legitimate, elite young centre-back into the football club. Tick. Done. Second one, Genie's going, replace him. Injury proneness. Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Milner's 35, Hendo gets injuries. Can you solemnly declare that we will not make the same mistake as last season? You know, no one could ever have foresaw that defensive issue. Normally, 10 out of 15 seasons, you know, out of 20, you'll be absolutely fine. Is there? I think we're active. I think Michael Edwards and the transfer guys. I think they're active. There was rumours of an £87 million bid for Chiesa that went in, didn't come off. Juventus basically said, "Go away."
Yes.
Does that signify that the club are looking, and do we have money? You know, we won't just chuck it away. And half of me wants to just bring someone in, just bring someone in. But the other half of me says to myself, well, look at what this management team has done for us. And, you know, a lot of people talking all this rubbish about, you've got 17 overseas players. Okay, well, I'll take that. So this Carrier's going to be there at the beginning of the season, is he? I don't think so. I'd take that as you just don't register.
James, you say that, right? But like with everything, there has to be a buyer, bro. There ain't no suitors right now. It's all well and good knowing what you don't want, but there has to be someone.
Deportivo La Coruña can sign Carriers.
That's the problem.
We were talking about that last week, I think. So, with these players coming back off loan, coming back from injury, Keita, Ox, Minamino, does it feel like we've made signings, even though we haven't made signings?
That's a tough question, James. That's a tough question. I think we've made signings to add depth to our squad, but not necessarily to add class to our squad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect sense.
Well,
it sounds like a really horrible thing to say, but I think depth, yes. Missing pieces in our jigsaw, no.
Not starters.
Yeah.
Cop Kelly, can I ask you a question? You said depth, but not really quality, right? Can you name me the players in which has in your eyes added that depth?
The ones that have come back from being injured,
such as,
I think Oxlade would add depth. Yeah,
but how can he? Okay, no, actually, I'll let you finish the question. Oxlade, yeah. Anyone else?
Minamino, depth. Not really. I think he's one to come on when we're winning. To be honest,
Keita, would you say?
Yeah, no. Like I said, with him, I keep my fingers crossed every day. I even pray to God. This is the question. This is why I asked the question.
In the staff that you're saying that provide depth, is it really depth if those players are injury prone? Because when you might need them, they might be injured, as we saw last season. I don't know if it's adequate depth if those players like someone like a Genie. That's depth. You know, you can call on him
Solid,
as and when, you know what I mean.
No, honestly,
It's like,
I think what you said it makes absolute sense. I'm just thinking about numbers to make up first team
yeah,
squad.
that's what it is. Yeah, they make numbers, but then do you know what I mean? When you actually start, because that's the thing. Last season we had the numbers, but then when it got into the crux of it, man just started like James said, Weetabix legs, and people just started
really
crumbling. So it's like,
Is
I
the
don't want that
quality
again.
good enough? Lower down, a lot of other fans that we talk to, as we all do, other fans always say this: your first 11 can beat anybody in the world, and that's just a simple fact. It is. You've got to be an absolute idiot to not understand and recognize that.
They're a very fit, reliable first 11.
When you get to,
they're aging.
Yeah, 12, 13, 14 in the squad. Okay, good. Here's Liverpool's problem. When you go to 15 to 23, are they good enough? Curtis Jones, I know, again, I'll probably upset the apple cart with this. Probably a like-for-like replacement for Adam Lallana. He's good, but does he get into Man City's bench? Does he get into Man United's bench? Does he get into Arsenal? Well, he'd probably get into Arsenal's bench, but doesn't get into. That's still where we're at.
I would put Harvey Elliott as a earlier. You can't put him at the same as where Foden is now, but I'll put him where Foden was a couple seasons ago. And I think if we treat him that way, because why couldn't he be our Foden? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then because he's got the talent. So I just don't think he's ready. I think he's definitely one that's got the talent. He's just not ready. Much like Jones, he's got the talent, but he's just not ready yet. You know, the ones that they still need nurturing. So they're just numbers. When you actually start getting into it, it's like, I don't need numbers. I need like actual, you know what I mean?
Because when it comes to, when we're comparing our squad depth and the quality that we have against the likes of City, Chelsea now.
Even a fucking Man U. Let's be honest. Let's just put the cards on the table. Like, and sorry for swearing, but you know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with you. We do come up short. And unfortunately, that's the truth and reality of it. Do we need more depth and quality at the same time? Yes, we do.
We need a more quality bench.
But who out there is going to come and
who's going to challenge Salah, Mane?
Exactly. Who's going
to bench Salah and Mane? That's what we need.
Man City have just spent 100 million on Jack Grealish. Now, who's he going to go and challenge in that team? Who is he going to?
Well, they might send him back again.
Mahrez, Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, Sterling, maybe.
Sterling.
Yeah.
And here we go. And then we're just I'm gonna reel off some bare news, if that's okay with you, Gems, if that's all right. Okay. I'm just looking now at the Liverpool transfer odds for the players that we're particularly interested in.
Okay.
Arnaut Danjuma. Would Man City sign him right now? I don't think so. Guido Rodriguez. Liverpool set to switch their attentions to Rodriguez this summer as they look to replace Wijnaldum. Not good enough. Adama Traore. What about Elliott's progression? Rubbish. Donyell Marlon, Borussia Dortmund. For me, who are we linked with?
Okay, I've got one rebuttal. I've got one rebuttal to that. I've got one rebuttal to that. Yeah, my rebuttal to that is, them man there ain't got the best manager in the world. You know, if you really look at, let's be honest, let's sit down and really deep it. Like, we're all pissed off at our spending, the money, but when it comes down to it, thank God we've got Klopp, because Man City and all them other clubs you're mentioning ain't got Klopp. They ain't got a man that we got for 8 million from Huddersfield. How? You know what I mean? No one weren't raving. I was in London these times. I was getting slaughtered for spending the money we did for Mane and on Salah. Like, these, we generally don't go for the big, and we've got a manager that we're like, yo, you know what? Nah, you can turn a rock into diamond. Yeah. So I don't pay so much attention to the rumors until I know that, Klopp's on it, because he hasn't missed. You know, them ones there, bar Mignolet or Karius rather, he hasn't missed, and his signings, bro. I don't know anyone on YouTube or my friends who was shouting out that Jota is who we needed to get, and he'd be the revelation he did.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Crazy.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to give the man time. You have to. We're in. What's it called? Transfer. So we're going to be linked with any and everyone. We just don't know. You know, them ones there. But if Klopp says, yo, he looks at my little sister and says, I'm putting my faith in her. I'm saying, big man. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it.
Well,
Sign her up.
The market now is about to explode with Manchester City coming in. We all know about the news of a certain little Argentinian wonderful player that's going to be available. That's going to trigger movements. Now, you got to think to yourself, here's a hypothetical one. Messi, clubs he can go to, big teams in the Premier League, PSG. If he goes to PSG, what does that mean for Mauro Icardi? Harry Kane leaves, Icardi into Tottenham, the market's rolling. Lots of things can happen. The money is now
I
Villa.
don't think that we watch things like that. I think we've got a great scouting network going.
Michael Edwards is great.
I think Klopp can see stuff in players that other managers don't necessarily spot and notice. I think he knows how to use players correctly.
Messi would fit into our team anyway. He wouldn't get into our squad.
I said that. Well,
how would Messi do in the Prem anyway? Because Fabinho tore him apart. So.
He would never.
He would get.
We can't afford him.
All jokes aside, Messi would get
afford him.
Come on,
We can't afford him. £500,000 a week. All right, I'll call
We
it
definitely can't afford him. We couldn't afford his big toe. We couldn't afford Messi's son. We couldn't afford his offspring. Like that's real talk. Like that's more the chat I want to hear. But in terms of getting in our team, let's be honest, brother.
Yeah, of course.
It's unreal.
Come on.
We
On a bad day on Sunday,
you need to sit behind, Oxlade-Chamberlain.
It wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool are using a smoke screen like we did with Fabinho and Jota. These transfers were old school. They come out of absolutely nowhere, and
that's what we like to do.
And that's what it is. That's what it is, James. That's why half of me.
I'm not worried.
Like 10 days. Well, I don't know about you, James. I don't know. I wouldn't go all out and say I'm not worried. Half of me is like 10 days, brother. But then another half is like it's Michael Edwards and he's a ninja. So it's like you just got to settle and just.
You have to just.
The transfer windows till the 31st. I know the Prem starts on the 10th, but the transfer windows.
And they've got to stop that. They've got to stop the transfer window being open before the season starts. That's my opinion. And say, right, season started. That's your teams. That's it.
Yeah, but at the same time, James. At the same times, bro. Like if you're a good enough, well-run club, you get your business done quick. Like who the hell cares when the transfer window closes? Like if you're well-run and you know what you've got your targets. You know, like Aston Villa knew what time it was. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, here's the Greenish money. You get your business done.
It's someone like Tottenham that worries me with that. With the issue, if they start the season and Levy won't spend money, he won't spend money for new shoes for himself. He's that sort of guy. If Kane goes, they've got to have some sort. Do you know what I think we do? If I was to walk in, if I was to wake up as Michael Edwards tomorrow, I'd get on the phone to Barcelona and I'd say, right, Coutinho, 15 million is what you quoted me 6 months ago. Here's your 15 million. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Central midfielder in the club. Close the door. Let's crack on.
I would love to.
I think that's quite a good question. If we went around and said, if you were Michael Edwards, what would you do? I think if I was Michael Edwards, one signing, I'd up that. I'd put 20 million on Isco. He covers the wings. He plays in central midfield. Yeah. Like he's looking for more game time. So he's not necessarily like I need to play every game, but you know what I mean. And you've got versatility. Boom, bam. That's what I do.
Gems, why don't we just do this and just say, okay, Real Madrid, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you Origi, we'll give you Origi, we'll give you Minamino, and we'll give you 25 million, and we'll have Isco and Asensio. And there we go. I don't know. Let's dream. Let us dream.
Isco's reachable though. Isco's for sale. Isco's actually for sale. So that's not even like a dream. Like it's like
he was supposed to come to us 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah.
We worked very heavily with him about 2 seasons ago.
With Ashravin.
So
not Ashravin. With he was at Barcelona at the time. Alexis. Rogers couldn't get it over the line. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Everyone here
rumors
be happy with
that Sal.
Yeah, I agree with you,
Sal. And I did read a rumor that he's on pretty high wages where he is now, and apparently this is just gossip, but apparently that was what was stalling that situation up.
Sorry, can I go back on my answer? You know, you said if you were Michael Edwards, forget the Isco thing. If I was Michael Edwards, the first thing I would do is I would talk to FSG about restructuring our flipping pay structure, because it's some joke thing. We're a big club, and like this can't be. Every single person I speak to, if I speak to Man United, they're like, yo, we're going to get this player. If I speak to a Chelsea man, we're going to get this player. If I speak to Man City, we're going to get this player. If I speak to a flipping Aston Villa man, we're going to get this player. You speak to Liverpool man, yeah, but how much is his wages though? Like, it's a joke thing. Like, it's enough is enough, man. It's really starting to
New
get on my nerves,
sponsorship
man.
deals over the past 2 or 3 years. Krispy Kreme donuts, Nike, Gatorade, they're all rolling in. They're jumping on the bandwagon of the success of champions. Why isn't our pay structure reflecting that? New deals for our best team players. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Our pay scheme is a double-edged sword, because your weekly wage looks low, everyone looking in, but they get paid they get bonuses for hitting certain targets. That's clearly working for Salah. I mean, he earned a shitload of money when we won Champions League and Prem, all those players. But for players like Origi, Shaqiri,
Gems,
there's no incentive for them to try.
Our Salah is still working for him now. Our Salah, if that pay structure is still working, I swear man's coming to the table like, big man, I want 300, I want 350. Like that. Like that was good then. But what was good then isn't always good now, like that. Like,
well,
it's a double-edged sword, because if you're gonna pay people with these targeted bonuses, and we've got a first team that's very hard to break into, the players that can't get into that team regularly, they're not gonna earn any bonuses. So,
but do you know what?
Shaqiri bother trying so hard in training if he ain't gonna get his bonus?
Do you know what pisses me off? It's like, Gems, it's like you just said that, we've got a team that's really hard to break into. We've got our eyes on players like Sal Niguez, who is easily adequate to break into our team and is what we kind of need. The guy is merely asking to not take a pay deduction. He's like, I want to be paid on what I'm already on. Like them type of things for a big club shouldn't be such a
shouldn't be a problem.
The question,
come on, man.
The issue that will happen is, as we all know, Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Alisson, Fabinho, they will turn around and say all Nago. Say all what's his name? Say all say all 350 grand a week.
Come in and earn more than me.
Yeah, and then before you know it. And I think what FSG, for all their faults, and I'll put my hand up myself. Apart from the Alisson and the Alisson and who's the other one, Van Dijk, that was due to Coutinho. Let's be brutally honest. Apart from that, they haven't really spent much at all. What they're doing is just keeping the club floating. They demonstrated with the Super League exactly what they're about. And as far as I'm concerned, he said to us after the Champions League final win against Tottenham, he said to the fans, it might have been just before kickoff or just after, I will start spending more money with this football club. Yeah, we're not talking about 2.5 million, buddy. Think of your Nike deal. Eclipses the New Balance deal by 50 to 1. Where is the money? Where is the reward for Jurgen Klopp going out there and doing a great job? It's not on.
There, aren't we? So it's all good.
Well,
all right. I'm just going to give some comments now.
Just before you say that, just before you go to the comments, do you know how much of a joke this is? The club that we are, forget history, just on our success, on our last recent success and how big we are. There should be no reason at all that next season, if Haaland stays, that we shouldn't be a main player in trying to get him. And every single person here knows that will never happen, because we'll all say, but his wages. Like, come on.
Because you wouldn't think nothing of Man City going and doing it, but we won majors recently too. Right, let's have a look through.
Go ahead, Jen.
We had a Monday, great panel tonight. How's VVD looking? He's looking like a Porsche, didn't we say, Saint? Like a pretty little Porsche.
Porsche in second gear.
Confident, calm. Yeah. Solo, the main FTV guy. Welcome, Solo. James trolling again. Minamino holds a record for most high fives.
That's a fact.
You need to watch some of the games because he scored a goal today. So, yeah, you got a big high five. James is cool. There you go. Monday likes you, James. Talk MU. Yeah, he's from our Man United Agenda show. Hi, Jay. Talk. Monday. I like the honesty, guys. You are lacking in squad depth and quality for sure. Well, there's no really, we can't escape that, can we? We can't pretend. Oh, and here he comes now. This ain't big club movements.
Yeah,
So he's
no,
a Man U fan,
winning the Premier League and the Champions League in successive seasons is big club movements.
Big club movements, yeah.
That's big club movements. So
they're
contact
just
me
buzzing
when
off their they've spent more than Man City in most recent,
exactly.
and flopped to Europa, Villarreal. Talent, squad depth and quality has always been a concern to me. Yeah, agree. Tsimikas hasn't worked. That's a miss from Klopp.
For 7 million, it's not really though. For 7 million, it's not really. Let's be honest. Like
I've been having this debate with him for weeks. I've turned around and I said, like, he had COVID. He was injured. Anybody who knows anything about football will know. For Olympiacos, this guy ripped Arsenal to shreds at the Emirates Stadium, had big clubs around Europe after him. Michael Edwards, another masterstroke, 7 million. And anybody who saw any of the preseason highlights of, especially today, he was putting balls on a sixpence. Jota should have had 4. Let's be honest. And I think Tsimikas is good. Let's just hold fire. If Tsimikas has a repeat of last season this season, then you could argue and say, okay, maybe a miss at 7 million.
Even then, James, to be very honest with you, right?
It's a tough one.
Firstly, bar Keita, I think Tsimikas has probably been my player of the preseason. But like Tsimikas, it's hard. It's when people say things like Tsimikas and the Man United one. What's his name? The one that's behind Shaw. No, the other one, the one that can't get in the team, and that they're like, oh, they're flops. I'm like, but Tsimikas hasn't played. He's behind Robertson.
Yeah,
he's behind Robertson, who plays every flipping
game.
So I don't even understand what type of a flop has he done. Like, and even if he has the same season next season, he ain't played. Like, the ones there. Like,
yeah. The question is, what are we expecting? Are we expecting him to come in and play 27 games? No, we're not. I think he's there as a backup to Andy Robertson.
Exactly. And when he plays and puts in bad performances, then he's flopped. But he ain't even had the opportunity to do that. So
you could have any left back come in and they wouldn't get a sniff. Any left back.
Straight.
More of a concern to me is Nico Williams. He's more of a concern to me.
Left back comes to Liverpool and he just won't get played. So
it worries me.
It's been
I'm going to put my hand up here and I'm going to say it now for the first time. And many of you may not agree with me. My head tells me that Nico Williams isn't good enough for Liverpool Football Club. My heart tells me you want him to be. I think he's been mistake prone throughout. I think he's not been very good at all, actually. And a lot of people can take me to pieces. I just know. Whenever he stood in, mistakes littered, and I know Trent had early mistakes, but not to this level. I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool Football Club, and I'm going to put myself on a pedestal. Nico Williams isn't good enough.
He's not, bruv.
You have to give yourself some.
It's difficult to say that
because he's young, and some people learn at a different rate, at a different speed. So,
is he like an Elliot? Does he need a loan? Is he like an Elliot? Does he need a loan?
No, he's a young Welsh international. Michael Edwards can sprinkle the magic on him and get a little 15 mil, and he's just not good enough. Listen, like, I'm tired of being sentimental FC. Like, I don't like. I agree. Nah, seriously. I'm in my 30s. Like, we're a big ass club. Like, we dine at a big table. Like, if you're not good enough for the club, you're not good enough for the club. Like, we need. Do you know what I'm saying?
I've been a bit sentimental about this season was Nate. Because Nate was a warrior. I was like, I got a bit of sentiment.
Nat Phillips should definitely be
that ain't going to stop me from watching him go. I'll wave him off,
I would with saying thank you very much. £15 million. You've been a great servant. You're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
I think he was fantastic.
Who's this, Nat? Or
Nat Phillips?
Nico?
Yeah. Reece Williams needs more time. The FA Cup goal, similar to
there's no need for him to go anywhere. He can just.
It's a tough one, but then we've got Billy Kamatiu coming through. I rate this guy. I think he's got the build, but now all of a sudden we're flush with talent at centre back. I think the main aim here is, like we said earlier on, we need to be looking at potentially that last striker at top and the big void in the centre of midfield, a box-to-box machine.
Does it all?
25, 30 player in the world. I'll be very happy with that.
Thiago ain't going to bring us that. Let's face it.
But then again, for the last 6 or 7 games of the season, when Fabinho got pushed back up, that then released Thiago. It then released other players of our team to start playing ball again. And are we over reliant on Fabinho? Well, actually, I think he's one of the well, there we go. And that justifies the point that we need a central midfielder. All these players are wonderful. Keita, Ox, Hendo, Milner.
You know what
They're all wonderful,
we
but
need a
are they
Robertson
reliable long
for our
term?
midfield. We need a Robertson in our midfield. A box to box, does it all, you know.
I'm just staggered that we haven't kept Genie, and then his attack on the
someone that's got a slightly better shot than Robertson, though. Please,
well,
for Genie, we're now
the energy.
I was staggered by his comments. I'm sure he doesn't mean all Liverpool fans. He can't, surely, can he? No, I listened to those comments. That was quite. I was staggered, in fact, that he would say it was the fans. It wasn't that. I thought, for all intents and purposes, he would join Koeman at Barca, the club in real turmoil right now. And I'll hold out one prediction for today: Barcelona need to just go, but they're having a massive clear out. So now why can't we exercise our strong, close transfer connections with Barcelona, which we do hold over Suarez, we do hold over Coutinho? Why can't we utilize these deals to get in there and say, Ousmane Dembele, absolutely wonderful, technically gifted player, there's your attacker. But I don't know. Michael Edwards, let's just have faith in him. Let's just, whatever he does, he's got the magic powder, he's got the magic dust, he's got the twinkle starlight loving in this transfer market. Let's just see what he does. It's 10 days. Half of me is thinking I'm worried, the other half of me is not. You are so right, Saint, that I think you're feeling what we're all feeling, but I'm talking too much on Jem's show, so I'm going to back up.
Let me add
go, Nicholas.
There was a rumor that I read earlier today that stated that Klopp is not closed to Coutinho returning. Now, how
I've
true
seen that.
I don't know.
I've seen that.
Whether it happens, again, we don't know.
Like I said,
every window we're linked to.
But Nicholas, in all honesty, like I said, it is the transfer window, and all of the gaps in which we need. Anyone that could possibly fill that is going to be linked with us. You know them ones there, and we ain't gonna.
When it comes to the source of the transfer market and the transfer windows, for this summer's has been very fruity.
Yeah,
there's been so much.
We want the hot sauce. We don't want the mild sauce. We want the hot sauce. And there's been no hot sauce. It's just
we want the lip stinger. We want everything. Yeah, we want it all on top. For real,
Yeah.
I'm really pleased that we never acted on Klopp's loving with Bruno Fernandes on the pitch in Portugal in a pre-season friendly a few years ago. As Jem knows, one of my most wonderful sayings was about Bruno Fernandes. He spends more time in the air than a deck chair in a hurricane. I think this guy is a joke. He does nothing for Portugal. He contributes nothing from open play. His penalties, I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I think it stinks. And there's a reason why Klopp never went for him.
But I also agree in some sense with Coutinho. That was kind of why Klopp wasn't too unhappy to let him go.
Yeah,
he likes team players, people that give 100. I think, maybe behind the scenes, Coutinho wasn't really on that.
I think Fernandes wouldn't be the player he is for us as he is for Man United. Not a chance.
I agree.
I think he's very well. We all know about. And do you know what, Mr. Silver Fox has just put something in the comment there. I know you'll get to it, James. When you get to it, bring me in. I mentioned this earlier. This is so right, so right. 35 to 40 million pounds. There's your box-to-box midfielder. Fantastic attitude. Young player, still around 23, 24, is he? I don't know. Ex-captain or captain of the club. England international. Dead ball specialist to challenge Trent. As far as I'm concerned, whoever Mr. Silver Fox is, Mr. Silver Fox, take a bow. That was my trump card. That was the player.
I don't want James Ward-Prowse for 40 million, man. Come on, man.
If Ings is 30 million. He in a current market, that's the money.
Yeah.
What about
you're saying it like Ings isn't worth 30 million? Ings is a baller.
No,
Ings is worth 30 million, bro.
He's a top goal scorer.
We could do with Ings. Let's be honest, we could do with it.
Yeah, you're not the only one to say that. You're right. You know,
Amundi's offended about our Bruno comments. He's a
but
Man
it's
U
true.
fan.
But no. I'm sorry. I'm not having that.
The last 8 games of the season, like he must admit as well, he wasn't getting his penalties. He wasn't happy. He cries to the ref every
McTominay. I fear McTominay
He's not a
more
fighter
than Bruno Fernandes. I fear Greenwood more than Bruno Fernandes. I fear Cavani more than Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes' attitude, we all know about the WhatsApp group. We all know about how we went into the changing room and slated his team, you know, allegedly for professional purposes. What I'll say is this: I don't like him. I just don't.
No, I've just realized, guys. Let's just have a look a minute at the second game.
Although I like him on Juma 16, he comes across as a really cool guy. To be fair, I have a professional disagreement over Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
that's cool. Right, so this was the second, the second game. I thought the second game was high pace, high press, much more exciting than the first game. I think that's partly because Bologna played more high pace as well. We were forcing them to make errors. I think Klopp said the 3 goals we scored, their manager was complaining that we gave it away, but he said we made them give it away. You know, it wasn't that they just made those mistakes.
They got pressed right across the.
They were pressed. So Konate, he just looks ready. He looks calm. I know he wasn't, you know, necessarily.
He wasn't
not ready, but he
wasn't tested that much, was he?
He didn't look. What I've seen him in, he looks very comfortable, very confident.
The first 5 minutes, he flatters one of the Bologna players. Come on.
There's a good attitude. Konate, great attitude.
Bulldozer.
Yeah, definitely.
Timmy kept his balls in the box. My God. He was constantly putting those balls on a plate. He was whipping them in. He was good today.
Mr. Whippy, yeah?
Definitely.
And again, one of my favorite players, Saints, I don't know what you think about him, Cade Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him, man. Love him. Come on. Yeah,
he reminds me of Mane. I don't know if you agree with me. I know he's on the other side, but he will he makes the goalkeeper have palpitations, you know. He won't let the defense breathe. He doesn't give them a minute. He's constantly, you know, I don't care if you've got the ball in defender.
I do. I see the similarities.
Yeah. He, you know, in the England, I'll bring it back to this. When we were watching England play, he's doing what I was shouting at fucking Harry Kane to do. Like, don't jog past the goalkeeper when he got the ball. Make him keep the ball. Make him want to do something with the ball. He will chase down every ball. He's not going to give you a couple of seconds to look up. Like, no, that's how we were, you know.
Talking about England and Kane, I think no, I don't want it because following England my whole life, I didn't want to be drawn in. You don't want to get drawn in because when you're drawn in, then comes the sucker punch, you know, to the gonads from behind. Yeah, it really hurt. And for me, he was in the wrong system.
But for me, Gordon, where he does what you're crying out for a lot of people to do in that situation, you know, and Mane does the same thing. They don't give these defenders a second to take a breath and look up. And
can I ask you something? Can I ask you something and be honest about it? If Trent was playing in that England squad, do you think we would have come home?
I don't want to say that or not.
I'll tell you what, KLOPP Kelly. I've got something because obviously I'll be very, very quick because James don't want to talk about England and I respect that.
Sorry.
What I'm going to say is I'm going to England. I'm going to England Andorra next month. Yeah, I need a release. I need a 5-0. I need something here to help get over this. Okay, you know. If you want to come on to TTM Sports, we'll talk about that at the ground. But you know, you're right. I just it's so sore. It hurts.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry, okay.
That's the Jorginho penalty.
Yes, let's come back to the LFC now.
Right, so
sorry, James.
we can kind of wrap up in a minute because we have spoken a lot. So 2 more games to go. Anfield, Klopp's buzzing. Back in Anfield, back with the fans. The Brazilians are back. We're not going to have like a lot of break in between. I think we've had the most pre-season games as well, haven't we? Pretty much.
Yeah, we play Sunday. We play Sunday. It's a full house capacity, and
Sunday
Monday as well.
Monday. Yeah.
Both sold out.
So I'm looking forward to that. So we can have another show to talk about those two games. Feel the vibe, the atmosphere. Anybody going up there? Personally, I can't.
I wish.
I was gonna on the Sunday, but then as I say, you know, 23 pounds to the back of the gods. So half of me thinking you should have, half of me thinking I'm so tired right now. You know, I've been to Legoland Monday. I'm on a week off with the family. I've been to Legoland Monday. I've been to Harry Potter World Tuesday. I'm in Bristol. Do you know what? I need a break before I go back to work.
Bristol, best place to be. So yeah. Who are we going to look forward to see how they do in these next two games? And then
Keita.
Definitely Keita. Probably Konate to see how he settles in his first home game. I'm really excited about him.
Do you want to see Konate with Virgil, or do you want to see him with Matip? Because that might be how they're going to line up.
I think Konate will get a lot more time, and he might swap Virgil and Matip around to see the partnership. But I think Matip and Konate is the way forward for opening maybe two games, 100%.
Cool. All right then, guys. I think we've said mostly about transfers. We'll see. It's a long way to go. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it is, but it is still a long way to go. We do all our stuff secretly in private.
That's true.
In KLOPP we trust.
Yes.
The Godfather.
The best manager in the world.
Done now.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure being on with you guys. So yeah, thank you very much.
What could do a Pep's team? Like they'd be winning the World Cup.
Listen, let's see what he's doing with our team next season. Like we're doing something. That's all I'm saying.
That's gonna be the test. That's gonna be the test.
Thank you for letting me on, guys.
Welcome everyone. Thanks for watching.
Lovely to meet you all.
Bye.
You too, man.
Okay, have a lovely weekend, everyone.
And you know one thing I do like about him? He'll put his head where other people won't even put their boots.
We want people that are going to be competing for that first team spot, not another Shaqiri.
The way that this brother plays football, when we were linked, I didn't want to comment because I didn't want to smile.